Okay, let's just get the order. Kaylee, then John.
I want to go next.
Who's that?
Me.
Who's after Kaylee?
Aya.
Aya, then Sharitha, and then Nikki. Okay?
So I'm sorry. So what's the order? Sorry.
It's going to be Kaylee,
Mm-hmm.
John,
Okay.
Aya, Sharitha, and then Nikki.
Okay.
All right.
I just gotta warn you guys. I'm gonna sound like a salesman. So.
That's okay.
Okay.
It's supposed to be persuading.
Right. So.
All right.
Let me mute.
Are your children being lost among the collective? By enrolling your child in a charter school, you will be given more attention than your child could have ever hoped for. The reason that I think that charter schools are better than public schools is because I not only work at one, but I have attended one as well, and one-on-one attention that each child receives is honestly bewildering. The reason for this is that the class sizes are much smaller than in public schools. The charter schools aren't just a dump where the kids who have nowhere else to go back to like their home school. You volunteer, you have to go through this application process and be chosen to attend a charter school. And this means that they have fewer students and more individual time. There's less distractions among the classrooms, and there's less time spent dealing with behavior problems. The other reason that I think that charter schools are more better than public schools is because teachers want to be there. It wasn't something that they were thrown into or they had nowhere else to go. They are also chosen based on their love for the kids, and they're not out of necessity. Charter schools pay their teachers more than public schools, and because of this, the teachers don't resent their children. I have personally seen teachers hate the kids that they're teaching because of how much little they're being paid, and this is so much different than at a charter school. Only top educators are hired, which means that your child will not be learning from somebody who got their degree and was like, I don't want to do what I wanted to do anymore, so I'm going to be a teacher. The teachers strive for the grade. Charter schools can be shut down if they do not reach a certain grade for 2 years in a row. They want your child to succeed, and they work hard to make sure your child isn't failing. They do their best to make sure that your child is receiving the grade that they need to receive, and they stay for extra hours without being paid just to tutor your child. And I've personally seen this as I work aftercare, and I see all the teachers staying just to make sure that these kids are doing as well as they should be. Because of all these reasons, and many, many more, I believe that charter schools are much more prepared for teaching your child than public schools. So pick the school that cares about your child. Thank you for giving me your time. Yeah, done. No more.
All right, my turn. 1 second. Okay. All right. Well, hi guys. Have you ever been at a boring gathering or birthday party that you didn't want to be in, missing your favorite shows, your favorite programming? I know that you could DVR it, but you still don't get to watch it live. Now, the best solution to this would actually be if you have all the benefits of your actual home TV at the palm of your hands and actually take it wherever you want to go. Of course, it's nothing as convenient right now out, but thankfully right now we actually have Yip TV. If you guys are able to see this live, Yip TV is actually the same home programming that you find on your home television. You actually find it on your PC, your tablet, your computer, your smartphone. It's actually coming from the same people that brought you Vonage. They're opening a new branch called Yip TV. It gives you over 50 channels worldwide. Sorry. It's data compressed, meaning that you don't need to have an antenna. You just need data connection. It's not going to use a lot of your data on your phone. You could actually use it through even your Chromecast, your Roku, your Apple TV, and it's what's called an over-the-top provider, meaning that they cut out the middleman. You don't need DirecTV, you don't need Dish, you don't need Xfinity, so you don't spend hundreds of dollars for programming. You only spend $14.99. Sorry. Now, benefit of this is that you don't only actually watch your favorite programming live wherever you are, you actually get to watch worldwide program. They provide programs over 50 channels again, and they're always adding to it at the same price, so they're not going to bring up your cost. And sorry, 1 second, make sure you guys see that. Okay, you could actually connect it to your game system. You could actually download it already through the Google app and through the App Store. 1 second. So next time you're at that boring party or a boring gathering, wishing you could watch your favorite programming, you actually could. Just pull out your cell phone, download it at the Google app or App Store. If you're not even sure if it's for you, you could actually still go ahead and download it for free. Watch the free programming, and you can watch it wherever you go. Again, just for $14.99, you can't go wrong. If you're still hesitant, again, try the free trial. And all you have to do is either call, click, or download the app. Thank you. Okay. Wow, that was short.
Yeah. All right. So I tried the PowerPoint thing. It didn't work out for me last time, so I'm gonna try and see if I can maybe do this. Can you guys do that? More or less? Yes? Hopefully. All right. Oops. My bad. Okay. So there are over 7 billion people living on Earth today, and that number is going to continue rising. With the development of technology and better medicines, our growth is just inevitable. But have you ever stopped to wonder how in the world $7 billion security food security index right here? You see that a lot of our nations around the world are highlighted in yellow, orange, and red, and those are our developing countries, which make up very much of our population today. To a current world population clock, if you can see that, kind of backwards. But we currently have over 7.3 billion people living with us today and counting. UNICEF approximates that 353,000 more people are born every single day, and that is 255 births per minute, and that's over 4 births per second. Unfortunately, 105 worldwide. According to the deaths of children under 5 years old, and that's a total of 3.1 million children. So is there a solution to malnourishment? Is there a way to increase the course of life of these prematurely dying children in these developed nations? Genes modified organisms. And many people choose to advocate for more organically grown produce for reasons that are understandable, including the risk that GMOs may pose against our health. But to ease some of that concern, I want you to know that any EPA and the EPA for any potential risks. So these foods are tested far before they even reach our products, and not otherwise on human deemed unsafe health. That the World Health Organization has been shown from GMO consumption worldwide. And the solution that GMOs provide suffer from very harsh climates ranging from dry and arid weather to areas that are prone to flooding, both of which can make sustainability very difficult for farmers. Breeding plants with special traits that can combat these environmental challenges such as food or floods, drought, can easily ease the pressure of fighting to sustain a very large population. Can ultimately lead there are necessary consequences that can easily be fixed with GMOs. Today, there are crops that have been genetically enhanced to produce higher levels of beta-carotene to reduce vitamin A deficiencies in pregnant women to prevent blindness in these areas. Food, but also means that there are less usage of chemicals on these plants that could potentially become runoff and pollute nearby water that these communities rely on. So not only is GMOs beneficial to sustaining a very large population, but now it also has environmental able to sustain our environment. So in addition, these developing countries can actually financially benefit from growing GMOs. India, for example, makes over $2 billion a year from growing cotton that's been modified by a gene called Bt gene, which is a gene that makes plants produce a protein that is harmful, that is only toxic to larval pests, but is not toxic to us. China also makes $1 billion a year from making Bt cotton. North and South America, as well as South Africa, collectively make $5 billion a year from growing GM soybeans and corn. So this additional income can actually supplement the welfare of the people living in these countries. So imagine a world where no child goes hungry with their smiles on their faces. Imagine a place where their parents no longer have to worry about their children going hungry. And imagine a world of wealth and prosperity in developing countries. To become an advocate of GMOs and join the hundreds of people that are already part of the GMO movement. And if you want to learn more about the applications of GMOs in agriculture and food production, just go ahead and visit the National Center of Biotechnology Information at www.ncbi.nlm.na. That was probably really choppy, wasn't it? Were they able to record most of the video or not? Probably not.
Your voice was choppy, and there was parts of it where it was freezing. So most of it, I could hear your voice. For most of it, I can hear the presentation, but parts of it, it was actually freezing. The screen was actually freezing. But your voice, I mean, basically, I heard your speech. So I don't know how you're going to change that because there's actually something wrong with your actual computer.
Okay, that's fine. As long as I can prove to him that I attempted it, I'll just record a separate video. I can't fix the problem. It's kind of annoying, but anyway, I tried.
But I can hear you, and you're talking about the population and the food shortage, so I can hear the speech.
Okay.
It's just me. I don't get any feedback from anybody else, but all right. Guess you guys ready for me? Good evening, everyone. I just want to start with a question. Do any of you guys know anyone who started college but dropped out? And do you know whether or not they're regretting it right now? Well, let me start with my own story. My parents got married immediately after they graduated from high school. I'm actually a first-generation college student. My dad, great man, but I actually saw him struggle. He actually worked doing 2 to 3 jobs just to support his family. So I actually believe that my family would have been more financially secure if my parents had finished college and gotten a college education. Now, there's a huge debate right now as to whether it's an advantage to get a college education. Does it really matter? Is it worth the investment? Now, I know this might seem a little ironic talking to college students about getting a college education, but the truth of the matter is just because you guys started college doesn't mean that you're going to finish college. So I want to share with you some studies and some statistics on the advantages of not just starting college, but finishing college. So there was actually a study done in 2015. It was from the Community College Completion Corporation that the main reason that college students drop out of college is because of financial reasons, obviously. From that same study, 54% of college students, they have to work. They have to work to support themselves, and they also have to work to support their family. And sometimes it's just a huge challenge to balance going to school and working. So a lot of them will drop out of college. And a lot of them drop out of college with the thought, oh, well, you know what, it's not really a big deal. I dropped out of college. I didn't really need college. So I want to share with you some of the advantages of actually staying in college and some statistics that were done by the 2011 U.S. Department of Labor. And if you look at the chart, the top part of the chart, this is actually people who have some high school and no diploma. And then you go from people who are high school graduates, and then you go all the way down, and these are people with higher degrees, professional degrees like doctors, master's degrees, and PhDs. And you can see at the top of the chart, if you get some high school or some college, you can see that they make anywhere from $450 a week to $719 a week. Now you may say, well, that's pretty good, but if you look at the red line, the rate of unemployment is really high. 14.1% of unemployment is with people that have not graduated high school, and 9.4% is for those who graduated high school, but they still don't have a college degree. If you go all the way down looking at the chart, people with a PhD, their earning potential is much higher, and their rate for unemployment is very low. It's about 2.5%. So obviously there is a financial advantage to going to college. Also, there was a study done, it was published by the American Journal of Public Health, that stated, this was very interesting, people who have a bachelor's degree and or an associate's degree, obviously they have higher self-esteem. Also, they are known to have depression less, so they're mentally healthier. So not only does going to college, getting your degree, offers you economic advantages, it also has health benefits. So what is it that I want you to do? Well, obviously, I've shown you that there's a need to go to school, get your education. There's benefits from getting your education. And what you need to do is go to your advisors. There are several advisors at Palm Beach State College. You can sit with them. And if you're feeling a challenge to finish school, if it's because of financial problems, there are several grants in Florida to help you with your finances. You can sit and talk to your advisors as far as financial aid. If you're having challenges academically, just keeping up with your courses, there's tutors. There's tutors on campus. And also, if you're doing online courses, you can go to Blackboard, click on SmartThink, and there's online tutors. So go out and avail yourself of these other options to help you to stay in school. Obviously, I want to end again with my own story. I went to college right after I graduated from high school, started working, and I dropped out at the age of 19. I know for a fact that I would be much further in my personal career if I had stayed in college and completed my education and gotten a degree. That's why now almost 30 years later, I'm now in college trying to finish and get my degree. There's a great quote by Nelson Mandela that states, education is the greatest weapon that we can use to change the world. So finish college, finish the course, get your degree, and let us together change the world in our own way. Thanks for listening.
Hi everyone. So I'm going to start off by reading you a little statistic that I have found online from Planned Parenthood. Did you know that nearly 10,000 young people aged 13 and 24 were diagnosed with HIV infection in the United States in 2013? Yes, 10,000 people. It doesn't seem like that big of a problem, but the fact is that we have so many methods that we can use to prevent such an infection that can be life-threatening and can really change a person's life. This is why today I'm going to be speaking about how young people should be allowed to have easier access to birth control to prevent infections, to prevent unwanted pregnancies, and to also allow younger women to be able to go through puberty without as much of a hassle. I personally have experienced that many of my friends have had a lot of problems throughout high school. I've had friends who have struggled with STI infections, friends who have dropped out because of pregnancies or haven't been able to fully go into college. And I've had plenty of friends, and I'm sure girls can relate, that girls had to leave class or miss work or any of those kind of things because of cramps or heavy bleeding, any of these kind of things. And I think that having that easier access to girls and boys also can really, really help and benefit the population. I don't really think that teens have the guidance that they need in sexuality. It shouldn't be hidden, because even though we want to say stay abstinent, at the end of the day it is something physiological, and if they're going to do it, they're going to do it. And I think it is more necessary for them to have the right tools to prevent such bad circumstances than just saying don't do it, because if they do it and don't have the right methods, bad things can happen. I'm going to start off by speaking a little bit about teen pregnancy, which actually is at an all-time low in the United States right now, which is great news, I would say. But in reality, there is still a high amount of teen pregnancy. There is about 26.5 births for every 1,000 adolescent female. This statistic was taken in 2013, which 20 years ago there were 61.8 births for every 1,000 adolescent females. So that's a pretty good statistic right there. But the thing is that a unplanned pregnancy can really hinder a young woman and also a young man. It can make them have to drop out, have to get have to get jobs, and it can really become a struggle to be thrown into such a situation without being prepared. This is why I think that both men and women should be able to go access such programs such as Planned Parenthood in an easier method and be spoken to in school about the dangers and how they can access these programs. There's a lot of different birth controls out there that people are not aware of, actually. There's various methods, which I will later be speaking of. I also saw that Planned Parenthood found that easy and confidential access to family and planned parenting services through healthcare centers, schools, linked health centers, and condom availability programs have been found to help prevent unintended pregnancies. So that goes to show you that having that available can actually decrease the amount of unplanned pregnancies. Then we're going to speak about STIs, which is actually the new term for STDs. I'm not sure if everybody knew that. STIs can seem like not that big of a deal. Like, I've had friends be like, oh, I've got, I just got like mono or gonorrhea or something like that. And it's like, yeah, you can get those things treated, but, what about that one day when you're like, oh man, like I have HIV now? Like, that's pretty serious, and it's not something you can reverse, at least not in this time. So I have found that it's very necessary to educate younger people about the availability of things out there that can prevent such things. I'm actually going to show a couple pictures, which I'm sure you guys are fairly familiar with some of these, even if it's, through services like I have spoken of. Right there, as you're seeing, they look like little colorful sheets. Those are actually called dental dams. They're used for oral sex. They can be put over the penis or the vagina so that no transfer of any type of fluids can be transmitted, and it can prevent infections. And the second one I'm showing you is condoms, which are fairly common. Most everybody knows exactly what they are, and even if a person has not used them, they know what they are. These two methods are one of the biggest things that you can do to prevent STDs in the common population. And actually, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services has stated that adolescents 15 to 24 account for nearly half of the 20 million new cases of STDs each year, which is a pretty fairly big thing. So if we can actually prevent that from happening and decrease the amount of young people getting these infections in the long run, we'll actually have a population that will have a lower amount of STDs and HIV and all those other things that you can actually contract through sex, oral sex, or any kind of sex. And from there, I'm going to actually transition to something that's not so harsh and a little bit more friendly, and that's going to be puberty. I'm sure everybody remembers going through puberty and how terrible that was. You break out, you've got raging hormones, and it can especially be a really tough time for girls, which most people don't realize. I've had plenty of friends who have had to leave school because of heavy bleeding or cramps. I myself have had to do it because I felt like I couldn't go through the day, and I'm sure you guys could probably relate, except for John. I apologize. So I am a big advocate of having these different methods out there. There's many hormonal birth controls out there that actually have many benefits that are not just birth control. Most people think, oh, birth control, you don't want to get pregnant, and that's not the truth, actually. There's many girls that I know. Personally, I had a best friend who had to be put on the pill because she had such a big hormonal imbalance. So that's something that we can realize, that the pill, for example, can regulate your menstrual period. It can decrease menstrual cramps, treat acne. It actually can prevent polycystic ovarian syndrome, which can be a really good thing in the long run. It can lower risk of anemia, so that's a little bit of a plus too. And in some cases, it can actually lower cancer in your reproductive organs for women, which is definitely a plus because we do see a lot of cases of that. I personally, I'm going to show you a picture first, and then I'm going to share my story. Give me a second. Come on. That's the Nexaplanon. It is a little implant that goes in your arm, and it is estrogen-based, and it goes for 3 years. You can use it. And then I'm going to show you. I've got it, too. I don't know if you can see really, but I've got it through here, and there's a little tiny scar, and that's actually the second time that I got it. I have found that it's got great benefits. My acne has cleared up really great, which I used to struggle with. I actually don't get a period out anymore, which is an amazing thing for me personally. I don't really get cramps. I don't get moody. It definitely balanced out my hormones, so I don't feel like I'm just about to rage on somebody for no reason. And I don't have random cravings or anything that would go with a random period. So I found that it's definitely very helpful, and I feel like if a girl has these different methods available, they can actually focus on school and get further in life versus having to focus on, hey, I feel terrible today, I really don't want to go to school because I've got terrible cramps. So I just wanted to say that, you know, it is a taboo subject, speaking about sex and condoms and all these different things, but they have to be addressed because it is very critical for everybody to know what's out there and know the different things, even if they don't plan on doing it. I mean, I know people who want to wait till marriage. I know people who have had sex at like 12. They all need to be informed, so when that does happen, it can be done correctly, and therefore you have all those things not happen to you, such as unplanned pregnancies and STIs, and help girls in the long run with going through their hormonal changes, which actually, by the way, a little side note, the pill can actually really help women who are going through menopause, also because of the hormonal changes. So having birth control throughout your life can really help women with hormone imbalances. So I just want to finish off with saying that there is many various things out in the market for people to use. There's condoms, dental dams, there's various uterine inserted hormonal methods, there's the implant as I showed you that I have, there's patches, there are pills, there's rings, there's everything out there, and definitely get informed. I mean, even if you're a guy like John, You're going to eventually have sex with a girl, and us girls are going to have sex with guys, and we don't want to have something bad happen. I mean, a kid can be great, yes. I mean, I know that's not that big of a deal, but you definitely don't want to say, hey, I got gonorrhea, or hey, I've got HIV. That can definitely change your life, and I think it's the best if we can all protect ourselves. And if we can give that to our youth, which is the definitely our future, it would be the best thing, because we can prevent these things from happening and definitely decrease the amount of people that have this in the moment. So, yeah, that's about it. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.